Welcome back to another Film Geek movie review. In just a moment, I am going to walk my happy butt over to the futon to check out the Netflix original Frankenstein. Or is it Frankenstein? I don't know. Talk to Gene Wilder. But anyways, this is the newest interpretation of Mary Shelley's masterpiece, Frankenstein. And I am really looking forward to this movie, guys. This film is directed by Guillermo del Toro, and it's starring Oscar Isaac and Christopher Waltz. And I mean, you guys know the story of Frankenstein and his monster, right? Do I need to go into much of a detail of this one? I will tell you, I love this franchise. I have been a big fan of Frankenstein ever since I was a kid. I remember watching it when I was little. My dad showed me the original Boris Karloff film, and then from there, I was absolutely hooked. And I will say, yes, my favorite in the entire series is Bride of Frankenstein. I just love that movie. But yes, I have the Boris Karloff Legacy Collection. I also have Frankenstein, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. I was going to look around. I know I have some other interpretations. The most recent, of course, being the one that was directed by Zelda Williams. But man, I tell you, I am a big fan of this genre. I don't know what it is about bringing, dead people back to life in a movie with electricity, but I freaking love it. But you know what? It's enough of me sitting here jibber-jabbering on. It is time for me to get over to the futon because, of course, my faithful feline friend Haku is patiently waiting on me, and I don't want to keep him waiting a moment longer because I need to go see Frankenstein. Oh, that's right. Mel Brooks' Frankenstein. I almost forgot about that one. Young Frankenstein. That's probably my actual second favorite interpretation. All right, time to get over there for Haku and check out Frankenstein. Just getting done watching Frankenstein, and guys, I really enjoyed this movie. I thought that this was an absolutely beautiful film. So let's get this party started, shall we? We're going to get things started with negatives, then move into the positives to end the video on the ever so important high note. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is the runtime of this film. Now, this movie clocks in at just over 2.5 hours. So yes, this is a long, slow burn. And if you're more familiar with more of the monster story of this, like the Boris Karloff films from the old days, this movie really does more of an interpretation of the Mary Shelley novel, not so much of the universal monsters. So if you're going into this expecting more of a high pace, action monster film, that is not this kind of movie whatsoever. This is more of your gothic, metaphorical horror tale. And it's extremely well done, but if you're looking for something that's going to be a lot more fast-paced, this is not that movie. This movie takes its time, and it is a very slow burn. That does not mean that it's boring by any means whatsoever. It's just not a horror film that focuses on trying to scare you. This is more of your metaphorical monster type of film, and it follows the story almost to a T. There are some differences in this film than there are in the book, but to be perfectly honest, guys, I am not going to do a complete breakdown of that because I have not read Mary Shelley's Frankenstein in a very, very long time. So there's a lot of things that I just do not remember, in all honesty, but there were some things that I noticed that didn't seem like they were necessarily from the book. There's this whole thing where Victor Frankenstein sees this image of an angel in his mind, and there's also a statue of this angel, and to be perfectly honest, I don't recall that necessarily being in the book. I do recall that a tree was hit by lightning that was the inspiration for electricity to try to, bring the monster back to life and stuff like that, but I don't recall the angel thing. It's a very minor detail, to be perfectly honest. There are probably other differences in both the book and this movie, but like I said, it's been an extremely long time since I have seen I've read the original source material, but to be perfectly honest, after watching this movie, I honestly think I'm going to sit down and read this book again. It's been a long time, and I did really love this book back in the day. So yeah, if you're somebody that's looking for something with a little bit more action packed to it, that's not really what this movie's trying to do whatsoever, but this is an extremely well-made movie with an extremely good story at it. And yeah, okay, I am actually quite happy that I did watch this movie at home. I would have loved to have seen it up on the big screen, in all honesty, to be able to see the cinematography and the set design and all of the amazing makeup that went into this. I would have loved to have seen it up on the big screen, but with that runtime, man, I am very happy that I had the ability to sit at home, take in this movie as I wanted to, pause it when I had to get up and go to the bathroom, maybe grab a drink or something like that. So I enjoyed the freedom with a movie with this type of runtime at my home, and that was really what I enjoyed about this being on Netflix. Other than that, though, I really would have liked to have seen this movie up on the big screen. Alright, let's move into those positives, shall we? Let's start showering this movie with praise. The first thing I want to talk about is the makeup and the special effects in this film. Now, there is some CGI that is used in this movie, but it doesn't overwhelm you with green screen and CGI. There's still plenty of practical effects and location shots that really make this film look gorgeous. One of the things that I liked, a neat little trick that I noticed in this film that they did, was this movie is divided up into two different stories. It's told from the perspective of Victor Frankenstein in the beginning of the film, and then halfway through it switches over to the perspective of the creature. And that's just like how the book plays out also. So when you're in the perspective of the creature, it's hopeful. This is during the time, if you're familiar with the story, when he's staying with the old man, he's learning about life, and everything is very positive and loving and caring for the creature during that time. And when he's in those moments, everything is very bright and luscious and colorful, and the cinematography also takes in a lot of that scenery and all that really drives home the beauty of not just the beauty that the creature is experiencing by living with the old man and experiencing life with this family, it just also shows it in the color palette of the film. When you're with Victor during his madness at the beginning of the movie, when we're hearing his story, and he's talking about the creation of the creature and the madness that he goes into, everything is very dark and decaying, and I thought it was really a good way of trying to show just how trying to create this creature and how he's trying to, basically accomplish all this. It's not just destroying the people and the relationships around him, but he's destroying himself, and the environment of all that is also reflecting in the way that the film is developed. So I really enjoyed the cinematography, the special effects, and all just extremely well done. There are some moments, yes, with the CGI where I felt like things got just a little bit spotty, but in all honesty, everything looks great. There are some animal fights and all in this, and yes, it still has those problems with animals looking like CGI animals, but in all honesty, it's not that bad, and I don't mind it, to be perfectly honest. I would rather see not so great CGI animals, than an animal getting hurt. This film is just so beautiful. I don't really know how else to put it. The color palette is amazing. The cinematography is amazing. All of this comes together making just an absolutely beautiful film. The acting in this movie is also amazing. All of the cast members do an outstanding job. All of the performances are extremely solid. And there was an actor that I completely forgot that was in this movie, and that was Mia Goth. She also comes in, plays the character Elizabeth, and is just great. She delivers another great performance, a solid performance out of everyone in this entire film. I really enjoyed this, guys, and as of right now, I need to sit down and watch all of them, but I do believe this is my favorite interpretation of Frankenstein on the big screen so far. I thought that I really liked that Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, although that movie arguably is quite boring in some parts, this movie somehow solves those boring problems. Yes, it does seem a little slow in some parts, but believe me, just the way that this film is presented and just the absolute beauty of everything, it doesn't doesn't seem to be that slow whatsoever. The pacing in this film does move along quite well, even with its long runtime, so you don't necessarily feel it. But in my opinion, it still was nice being able to watch this movie at home. I would have liked to have seen it up on the big screen, so if you have the ability to see this movie in theaters, I do say get out there, check it out in theaters. If you want to sit through a long movie in theaters that's really gorgeous and really some beautiful eye candy, definitely go check this movie out if it's still in theaters. If not, it is currently on Netflix. Turn up the vivid color on your TV, make sure everything looks great, turn on that surround sound system, and just take in an extremely well-made film. I can't believe this movie is on Netflix, to be perfectly honest. Netflix does not have the world's greatest history when it comes to films like this. Normally, these big prestige projects don't necessarily ever turn out the way that they want them to. But in this time around, man, this is some Oscar-worthy stuff. Down to the freaking costumes also. I forgot to bring up the beautiful costumes and the colors that are in this film. So anyways, guys, if you are a subscriber to Netflix, definitely check this movie out. If you are not a subscriber to Netflix, this is the kind of film that could possibly make you a subscriber. So go ahead, get that free week, free month, or whatever it is that they're offering right now. Check out Frankenstein, and then maybe decide if you want to keep around Netflix or not. But anyways, guys, this is a solid recommendation for me if you enjoy the classics. Well, alright guys, thanks again for checking out the Film Geek. If you liked what you saw here today, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, ring that bell for notifications, and give me the old thumbs up so I know you like what you're seeing. And if there's one more thing you can do, folks, that is keep watching movies. You know I'm gonna.